Morning everyone, this is a lovely Monday, fresh after the weekend. Some quite rainy weather over the weekend, everything was flooded, but fortunately this morning we have woke up to brilliant sunshine and blue skies. So far so good. It's due to get wetter, but for now we've got a lovely full sunny morning. Hope you're good, hope you're well. We're at 3195 on subscribers, which is excellent. If you're watching the channel, get down there and press that button, support it, subscribe, click on the notifications and the bell and all that bit, and then it shares the channel amongst others. So dropped off yesterday, so I've already put it in the shop. The guy with a Ford Focus, the white one that we did the boot build on it with the vocal gear and the amplifiers of all his own stuff, he's back in today with his second car, which is a Ford Kuga. I forget what type it is, it's like a special edition. It's very plush, got the Navi and all that bits and bobs on it. So we're keeping the head unit the same. We're not going to change that out, but we are going to do processing and amplification and speakers. So kick a key 200.4 in the front, and that's going to run in biamp mode. So we're going to separate the mid signal from the tweeter signal, as in a front and rear separation, and that will give the mids and tweeters in the front doors that we're going to fit the point of being active. So we're not using crossovers, so say it will be crossed over in the amp. We're doing this will be kicker reds, by the way, so the KS series. We're doing coaxels in the back, kicker KS reds, and then he's having a key 500.1, which is the processed amplifier for the sub, and a downward firing 12 going to be led down in the boot. So basically a full-on system with processing, leaving the standard head unit but getting the most obviously out of the sound because it's going to be through the key system. And that's us. Oh, and loads of dynamat, obviously soundproofing the car. And that's us for I think about 3 days. many diggering happened yesterday. It was waterproof, weather and wellies, but I got on the digger and it was spitting, but we still managed to get some work done. That's all 3 big boxes, the 3 metre by 3 metre boxes outside the front of the house, now empty and just soil. So the weed suppressant, the stones, the weed suppressant and the stones is all now removed, and wifey's busy turning over the soil ready for composting and then getting the plants put in. So we've got a lovely floral front garden. Sounds wrong, but you know what I mean, don't laugh. I had fun yesterday. It was obviously raining, so the ramp that I'd made with the train sleepers, the wooden sleepers, above the steps down to the lower garden, everything was soaking wet and everything was muddy, and past my better judgment I looked at it and thought this was a really bad idea, so I cracked on. I managed to get the digger up. Obviously I dug the soil and crap out. I dug the digger out into its, well, the digger was sort of, the digger was sunk in a muddy box, so I had to manage to get the digger up one side, use the blade at the back to lift the back of the digger up, and then I put the arm of the boom of the digger down into the floor and lifted the digger up in the air, and then extended the boom out, which pushed the digger backwards using the tracks to scrabble onto the step behind me, which is like this, it's not very big. Got the digger turned enough through many maneuvers, enough to get it to where it needed to go down the wooden tracks, like my bridge, my homemade bridge. The only problem was everything was wet, everything was muddy, and rubber tracks are great as long as they've got traction. So it didn't, it slid. I rode my digger down the slope on these 2 little train sleepers, which, if I'm completely honest, it was a bit of a squeaky bum moment. I did get to the bottom and have a little sit down and a word with myself, because I was kind of a bit like, I don't want to make a digger-sized hole in my shed, which is sitting right next door to this ramp. But it was done. We did it. No damage. It was all good. Then I went to work, picked up the concrete mixer, that's now at home. So we've now just got to make an order for cement, ballast and blocks. And then I can start building out the walls of the patio and the footings. And then backfill with all the muck that I've removed, and then bed it all down, and then we're just concreting the top, putting a layer on it, and it's coming along, been feeding the foxies over the weekend. All 5 of them are steadily growing. There is no brotherly and sisterly love with them. It's quite funny that it is a dog-eat-dog world, and they will bite each other to get food. They're not interested in sharing, which is quite hysterical, watching them roll around a big ball of fur as 4 foxes are having a pop at each other trying to get cat food. But they are growing, and it is lovely to see them doing well. And then we had a roast dinner and just sat down and chilled all evening. It was great. It's a really nice weekend. But glad to be back today. We've got lots to get on with work-wise and bloater stuff, and we've got Cafe in the Machine Wednesday. The rain was bad enough that I didn't bother with the supercar weekend thing. The rain that we had sort of Saturday and Sunday was due to move up the country, so it would have been a washout. So I didn't bother. I had things to do at home. So we're going to pray and pray and pray for dry weather for Wednesday, so we get a good Cafe in the Machine. But we go in regardless. So both cars, me and Ben, GTR, the Chaser, we're going up there. So if you go in, I'll see you there. Gonna go off to work, get coffee. I'll see you in a bit, everyone. Bye. Morning everyone, it is Monday morning, so here we have our first one in today. It is a Ford Kuga Vignale. Vignale? What? God knows. Anyway, so we're doing a full system, standard sat-nav head unit. So we're doing door speakers, front and rear, sub in the boot, kick a key, dynamat. Dan is just cracking on with the first layer of dynamat in the door. And we shall work through the car cabling and whatnot and come back to you in a mo. See you in a bit, bye. Right then everyone, we are cracking on. So we got a layer of dynamat in, all behind the door, top to bottom. So it's made such a difference, sorry Dan, made such a difference to quieten the door. We've trimmed this panel as well, changed the adapter, put on the kicker speaker. We're going to be running by amp mode, so mid-range into this, and obviously tweeter is in the dash. We've taken out the factory speaker, which is a little bit wet. It's a bit of a concern, but we'll notify the customer. He'll watch the vid anyway. And then we're starting on with the tweeter. So this, although it has the Sony logo in it, it is now sporting a Kicker Reds tweeter in the back. I've drilled out the old tweeter mount and then put mine in because our tweeter is bigger than the Ford one. And Dan is just starting cutting down the weather strip on the other side, ready for the dynamat to go in that door. Yes, I've given him a knife, he's got instructions, don't worry, he's not putting his hand behind it. Got the
what? What's going on?
Got the adapter in the door already, ready to accept the 6.5, and then yeah, once the dynamat's in there we'll get that one buttoned back up. But they're fairly empty, these doors, mate, and there's not a lot in them.
Oh, there's no.
Sound treatment wise.
There's a couple of little panels of it right at the back, but...
The glass, which you're going to have to put the door up.
Yeah, obviously. Well, no, I'm going to dynamite that as well, watch.
I wouldn't. And then we've got to take this out. So we've got to get this unit out the top, this unit at the bottom, screen out, radio is behind this screen. That will then give us access to our SOT lead, our SOT lead, to do an in and out. Tweeters, obviously we're going to run new cables too, so they can run active, and then the door speakers will just run through the standard, you know, the standard in and out through the door, so we're not interrupting any of the weather stripping like on that job we saw last time from that Bristol dude, where he kind of cut all the focus wiring apart to Scotch lock. And then we'll jump on with the rears. So I'll see you in a bit. Toodaloo. Morning everyone. Right, we're cracking on. So this one's done. All speakers and stuff changed. I've got the dash taken apart. So we've got glove box down, we've got the head unit out, we've got our wire harness which we're doing the in and out on, so we can leave the forward plugs alone and not cut anything up, which I'm sure he'll be happy about. Oh, excuse me. Passenger side door at the front is done, and door card back on. Now sound treated. So this one's all done. Mid-range speaker is down in there. Old unit is there. Down is just getting the grips with door number 3, getting the cabling done. Pull your hand away a minute, darling. So we've got adapter on, whole door's been dynamated, and we've got our KS kicker coaxel to go in there, which he's just doing. And then we've got one more to do over here. I'm going to be sorting out the wiring harness for the ins and outs on the back of the radio. We can run the key down inside the dash, run up to the tweeter. Got to get that one apart and do that one, and get new cables across, do our little conversions from head unit down to the back of the glove box. And then the only thing we need to do then is run power up the car, get our key mounted up there, the amplifier underneath out of the way. The subwoofer is already done. We have our downward firing 12s already mounted to the carpet. So we've run little washers and some screws through into the box itself. So it's done. We've got our cable fiber taped, P-clipped so it don't come out. That's running into there, and then obviously this will go off to the key. And then our sub box, as you can see, will be right way up in the boot. So that's that. We're cracking on. We're getting there. Speak to you soon. Anything to add, you crackhead? That'd be a no.
Ladies and gents, hello, hello. Last door is all complete, so passenger side rear door is all done. Dynamiting done. Card's back on. I'll put the door card back on in a couple of seconds. I've just finished up putting the driver's side rear door card back on. So this one's all done now. So we'll give you a shout back soon. See you in a bit. Afternoon everyone. So we're back off lunch. We have been back for a little while. We've had a Ford Focus come down for a head unit swap that we just cracked on with, and I completely forgot to pick up the camera. My bad. So sorry about that. It was a doubled in Kenwood. It wasn't a screened one, it was the, like our test radio. What? A DPX. Similar to this one, slightly different though. It's a newer version of that. So I'm going to now crack on with some more bits on the Kuga, the whatever this thing is. Yep. Alex has managed to get the 500.1 in, all sat in its little foam hole there. Yep. Power kit is all ran to it, signal cables are ran to it. Sub is just there on the mounted to the actual boot floor panel. All of the doors are done now, so it's now just a case of getting the 200.4 hidden in there and making a SOT lead for the ins and outs, which is what you're about to see me do sat in my chair. So I'm going to sit at this bench for a couple of minutes, cut all these up, strip them all back, take this bit of harness, cut it in half and make my own harness to it, so that we can then use the factory plugs so that we're not cutting the car's harness up, to be able to then keep it all factory if he does end up wanting to take it all back out. So give me a couple of seconds and I'll set up a GoPro for you. See you soon. Right then everyone, so after my head just exploded, my brother's just turned up in his new Audi. We are finishing up the last little bits for the SOT lead for this Ford, which is what I've been doing there. So what I've managed to do is get the outputs soldered and connected in here, which then runs to the output side of the car's harness. We've got the power, or the ignition, the ground and the permanent live all connected up so that they are the same length as everything else. The inputs come out, soldered into the extension, and then over to the input side of the key 200.4. So that's probably going to be about it for today, because it is now 25 to 6. So that's us coming to a close on this for today. Tomorrow I'm going to crack on with this. Alex is going to be out for some of the day because he's got some bits to go and do. I'm not going to say what it is unless he wants to tell you. So be it. So I should be cracking on with this. I've also got a Vauxhall Astra in tomorrow for the same customer that we did. I can't remember what car it was that we did for him. We did a car for him recently, and he took the head unit out of it himself but cut all the factory plugs off of the head unit. So we now got to solder the factory harness back together so that he can then put his factory head unit back in the car. So that's tomorrow's job, and then the rest of the day is just cracking on with the Ford. Alex is over the road. In fact, no, he's not. He's right there. Red cable. Red cable. Mint. So I can finish that up in a minute. Or in the morning. But
yeah, we're done for today.
We are done, dusted and ready to go.
What's this?
I don't know what's what.
Oh, Kenwood. From the forecast.
Ah, forecast.
Forecast.
So that's it. That's it for a Monday morning. We will see you tomorrow morning.
Bye, Felicia.